Good morning. This is Tuesday, September the 2nd of 2020. And yesterday I started a 30-day trial of the carnivore diet. I've been thinking about it and talking about it for probably 6 months. I've only had my channel for about 2.5 months, but I've talked about it several times since I started my YouTube channel. And finally decided to. I was going to start about 10 days ago, but I was looking at a calendar and I thought, well, September has 30 days. And if I'm going to do a 30-day trial, if I start on September the 1st, it would be real easy to keep track of what day I'm on, like on September the 14th or September the 18th. I'll know that that's the 14th day or the 18th day. All I have to do is look at the calendar and see which day of the month it is to know how many days I've been doing carnivore. So I started yesterday on September the 1st, and my intention was to put up a video before I went to bed last night talking about my first day of carnivore. I'll try to update you about once a week on how it's going and what I think of it. And if the first 30 days go really well, I might go beyond that. I might do it for 60, 90, maybe, longer than that. But anyway, I just want to see if I notice any changes or benefits to the carnivore diet in this first 30 days. And if everything goes really well, I probably will extend a little longer. I've been curious about this for a long time. I see so many people that I respect in this low carb field who've gone carnivore, and they're pretty impressed with the result. People like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Sean Baker, and there are numerous people that have gone this route, and so I've been wanting to try it. Now, I will say I don't believe that it's absolutely necessary to go. In fact, I know it's not absolutely necessary to go carnivore to go low carb. In some ways, I think going carnivore may be easier because it's easier to count your carbs if you're not eating a lot of vegetables and nuts and things like that you could end up overdoing it on. Because the carnivore diet, if done properly, is pretty much a zero carb diet, or it should be a zero carb diet if you're not adulterating your meat with sauces or dry rubs that have carbohydrates in them. There are dry rubs that don't have carbs, but you have to be careful with that to make sure that you look at the carb count of anything you're going to put on your meat. And it seems like the people who are really serious about carnivore only put salt on their meat. And so yesterday, my first day of carnivore, I didn't eat my first meal. I'm still doing intermittent fasting or time restricted eating, and I didn't have my first meal until 4:15 in the afternoon, and then I was finished eating by 7:15 in the evening. Had two little meals in there, and for that first meal at 4:15. So that was a 3-hour window. In other words, a 3-hour window of eating. And for that first meal, I had three. I was at the office, so I couldn't have eggs the way I love them. I love eggs, where the yolk is still runny, like sunny side up or over easy. And but I can't really do that at the office, so I had three hard-boiled eggs, 3 strips of bacon, and a hamburger patty. That was my first meal of the day at 4:15 yesterday on my first day of carnivore, and then when I got home, I had 3 eggs the way I like them. They were over easy with the yolks still real runny, which that's my favorite way, and then. Isabel had some pork ribs that were just dry, no barbecue sauce on them or anything. That's where you can mess up. Is having virtually all barbecue sauce has some sugar in it are carbohydrates. So no barbecue sauce or anything, just dry ribs. And so that was it for my first day of carnivore yesterday. In a previous video where I was talking about what I eat, I think it was What Do I Eat Part 2, um, I had mentioned the eggs that I love, and this is the main one that I mentioned. There's another one that comes in a yellow box that's very similar, but this is the one that I really love the most. And look at that label that's on there. You see where it says free range? The yellow box that we get says that also. It says free range. And I had a viewer that really took exception with that, seemed upset by the use of the term free range. And I was wondering to myself, he was saying it's better to, I should be saying pastured. And I was wondering, did I make that free range thing up myself? Because that's possible. It wouldn't be the first time I made something up, just by using my own terminology or whatever. But I realized, no, the kind that we buy all the time does have that on the label. And perhaps pastured is a better term. In fact, at the store the other day, I was looking at all the eggs and the category of eggs that we like the most, that we consider to be the richest nutritionally and everything. About half the boxes that were in that section said free range, like this box does, or carton, and about half of them said pastured. So I don't know if the terms are just used interchangeably. I doubt it means anything different. Free range and pastured, I'm sure those chickens are raised the same way, but for one reason, it's probably just a marketing thing or whatever. But one group uses the label free range and the other pastured. But at any rate, those are the eggs we like. We like them because the yolk is super dark, and a dark orange color almost, and much more flavor than other eggs. But any eggs would do. They'd be better than having donuts or bagels or something, or oatmeal. But at any rate, if we have access to good eggs, we like to use good eggs. And so anyway, back to this idea that of whether carnivore is really necessary or not. If any of you have been encouraged by the progress that I made over the past 21 months of losing a lot of weight and getting off of all medications and improving my A1C from a dangerous level to a really, really safe level. If you've been impressed with that at all, I did that without carnivore. I did it, number one, by intermittent fasting. That was the most important thing I did. And number two, most important thing, was eating keto when I did eat. Like I settled into a routine of one meal a day back during those first few months when I was trying to lose weight and improve my A1C. Was eating just one meal a day, and when I did eat, it was keto, and I was very strict with it. I kept my carbs under 20 grams of carbs a day, and I was extremely successful with that. So I don't know that I'll see any additional benefits from going carnivore, but I'm definitely curious, and I've kind of concluded that I'm going to be very low carb for the rest of my life, and certainly the carnivore diet is a great way to go low carb. It can be a zero carb diet, and again, as I've said in previous videos, carbohydrates are not essential. There are essential food groups that we need to survive, but carbohydrates are not essential. We can live without carbohydrates. And so I am real intrigued to see how I do on the carnivore diet and just to see what it's like. I can tell already that it's not going to be a huge departure from what I did before, because I was eating a lot of bacon and eggs and steaks and meat for the past 21 months. The only difference is in my evening meal when I would eat with my wife, because when I say my evening meal, over the past probably 12 months or so, I've been doing 2 meals a day, but they're in a narrow eating window, anywhere from 6 to 3 hour window. And so about the only difference is that, I won't be having avocado. I love avocados. And so with my meat or meat and eggs, I would occasionally have half an avocado, or in the evenings with my wife, when we would eat, we might have spinach or asparagus or green beans or something like that along with our meat. But I just will be cutting out those veggies now and still have meat and eggs and probably a little cheese here and there. I understand you have to be careful that you don't get carried away, which if you love cheese, which I do, especially cheddar and smoked Gouda, if you get carried away with that, you may eat way too much cheese. And so if I have any cheese at all, it's going to be a very small portion of cheese, maybe just to finish off a meal or something. No more dark chocolate. That was the other thing. Occasionally after my evening meal, I would have a little square of dark chocolate. I won't be doing that during this carnivore trial. And no nuts. I do love nuts. And that's another thing you have to be real careful about. Even though macadamia nuts and pecans are good keto-friendly nuts and something that I used throughout my 21-month journey, I'll be cutting those out. Those, you can get carried away with those. You're thinking, oh, well, I'm allowed macadamia nuts or I'm allowed pecans, and you can sit there and eat a whole bag and get too many carbs that way. I was always real careful with it because I was watching the carb count on everything, so I never overdid it with the nuts or cheese or anything. But I won't be doing that during the carnivore deal. So the nuts in particular, I may kind of miss those a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I've made drastic changes over the last 21 months, and I don't think giving up. For one thing, I've found with something like nuts, if you don't have any at all, it's not that hard to stay away from. But if you have a few, then you want more and more, and it's so anyway. I think not having them at all will be much easier than it was when I was trying to limit the amount of nuts that I eat in a day. So anyway, I will give you updates throughout the 30 days, and there's a good chance, if all goes well, that I'll continue beyond 30 days and probably do 60 or 90. But all I'm committing to so far is 30 days. And so we'll see how it goes. And remember, live healthy, finish strong.